Alright, the first thing that I did for this artwork is draw out where everything goes. So I'm drawing where the lips go, the eyes go, the nose goes, and I'm also drawing the hand and the shoulder here. So I like to make sure that everything is all compositioned out before I start adding in my values. And then once I do so, I'm working from left to right with my oil paints. I'm using black ivory and titanium white just like I do with a lot of my underpaintings. If you've seen my videos before, you know that I like to start with an underpainting before I start adding color, just to get all my values down. It gives me a really good chance to study my reference image and make sure I understand where all the values go before having to even think about color. You'll see that I have my phone out for my reference image over to the right side of my screen, and I've actually changed it from a color reference image to a black and white, and you can do that as well if you would like, or you can just look for the values as your reference image is still in color. But a lot of people do like to change it to black and white. And now I'm just working my way over from left to right, and I'm able to lean my hand on the linen that I have here because there's no paint on it underneath. Okay, so I'm going in here and just looking for the really bright areas and trying to get as bright as I can while my paint is still wet. I'm going to go back later once it's dry and add more white as well. So if like you look above the Cupid's bow, for instance, you'll see that I tried to get it really bright, but I couldn't exactly do that with this specific layer because it was blending in underneath. But I could just kind of create a placeholder for that bright color. Once it dries, I'll go in and paint over it and it'll be nice and bright, which is really nice. Okay, so now I'm just adding in a first layer of value to the arm, and at this point we're starting with the color. So again, I'm working where I started at the beginning of the painting, so the top left-hand corner. The bottom of my painting is wet right now, so I had to start working from the top. If you see where my paintbrush is coming from, I've actually moved that part of the painting to work on, so that way I could lean my hand. And I'm using that little lid that I've used in my videos before to also lean my hand so I can steady it for these like little intricate details on the eyes. Okay, so you'll see that I have these colors on my palette on the right. Those are all colors that I've mixed myself. They are not from the tube. So what they are is they're variations of Winsor Newton Titanium White, Gamblin Titanium Buff, Gamblin Naples Yellow Hue, Winsor Newton Medium Cadmium Red, and Yellow Ochre, which is also Winsor Newton for this painting. Okay, and then the darker areas of the skin, like the shadows and stuff like that, I've actually used a couple browns. So I use burnt umber and raw umber for those areas. Also in this painting, I used some purple, which I know it's always kind of shocking to people that I use purple, but sometimes if you're just using like the black ivory or the browns to make your shadows, it can look a little bit flat and not so realistic, but our skin does have like purples in it and greens in it too, actually, because our skin is translucent. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Basically, I also am using dioxazine purple. The dioxazine purple that I used in this painting is a Winsor & Newton color. So in like the cheekbone, there is a little bit of dioxazine purple, and also like kind of in between the lip and the nose, there's a little dioxazine purple as well. And even on that upper lip, like you'll see the left side of the lip, it has these dark values, and so I used a little bit of purple in that as well. So it looked a little bit more realistic versus just like cartoony with the just only black for shadow. Okay, so now that my painting is a little drier, you'll see that I can get those really, really bright areas. So under the eye, I can just go straight in with like a titanium white, titanium buff mixture and really lighten up that area and blend it out. I like to blend out and soften with actually a Crayola brush. It's the green one. It's actually Crayola. It's from like a pack of brushes I got from Kroger. It's really, really good for softening those edges though, because it's a really big brush. It's like a fluffy brush without it being like a fan brush. It's just like a round fluffy brush. So anyway, I like to use that to kind of blend those transitions together. At this point in the artwork, I'm adding my first layer of color to the hands. So now what I'm doing is actually the background of my artwork. Now, the background of this piece was not in the initial reference image. So what happened was my customer asked if I could do a Gothic background. So I just looked up Gothic cathedral and picked out one that I thought would look really, really well with the reference image. So this is actually two different photos kind of like put together in a painting. So I'm probably just going to leave this one black and white, and it's only black and white for this video, and I don't think I'm actually going to add color off screen either. So you can just see me painting in the background at this point. Okay, this painting, the reference image, he actually has tattoos. I'm not going to put in that tattoos in this video, but I will do it in a video later, and once I create that video of me painting the tattoos, he has tattoos like all over his face and hands, I will put the link to that video in the description below. So yeah, and I do want to mention, if you are a beginner, doing like an architecture painting might not be the best. I just don't want anybody to get frustrated. It's definitely possible, but just for me, and I've been painting and drawing for a long time, it was a little bit frustrating for me. So anyway, I just want everybody to enjoy the process of oil painting, so I try to like give little disclaimers there. It's not necessarily like for beginners, but if you want to, by all means. With the background, I also started with the drawing, just like I do with my portrait part of the drawing, or of the painting, is I drew out where everything goes first. And then I had to do a lot of wait time and patience for this, because I had to get really, really bright whites and really, really dark darks in the arches of this and in the ribbing of the vaults as well. And then also with architecture, it's really good to have a basic understanding of perspective too. Even when using a reference image, just knowing how it's all working, that can be helpful too. Okay, well, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I hope it was very helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy videos like this, so I know to do more of them, and then subscribe as well. And I will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.